Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh, ooh. Second thing, second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the sail, I'm the master of my sea. Oh, ooh, the master of my sea. Oh, ooh. From a young age, taking my soak into the masses, writing my poems for the few that look at me, took at me, shook at me, feeling me, singing from heartache, from the pain, taking my message from the veins, speaking my lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the.
Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the 5th annual Draft Powerball Lottery live on YouTube. We had a little bit of technical difficulty there, but hey, we're here, we're live, and we're going to continue on with the show anyway. This should be an exciting show. You will notice that I am without Hall of Famer Bethany Horn this time around. She decided to sit this one out, but be sure to pay very, very close attention to the comments section tonight. Anyways, you all know I am your host, the league commissioner, Rick Horn, team owner of the St. Louis Lot Lizards, and this should be a very exciting event. We want to welcome to the league Ryan Capronica, team owner of the Cleveland Steamers. For those of you who don't know who Ryan Capronica are, you should. If you've been watching the BAM Sports Show, I met him through Blake, who you all know that I met through the St. Louis Battlehawks fan page. So the BAM Sports Show, we now have 3 members of the BAM Sports Show here in the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League. And it should just be a very, very exciting season. We have returning champion Blake Madden of the Chicago Spirit Fingers looking to defend his title and see if he can be the first back-to-back champ. We have Lamar Peoples trying to get that trophy once again, who's been dominant. And of course, we have Nicholas Blase, team owner of the Bellingham Bin Blases, who kind of played spoiler a couple of years ago. Anyhow, without further ado, I do just want to get into a couple of orders of business before we jump into tonight's festivities. So, for those of you that have already been a part of the Powerball Lottery, you kind of already know how this works, right? So I have the Powerball machine right here. I've got the thing that controls it right here beneath my feet. And of course, the power bucket, right? And I've actually got 2 different camera angles here. So you're going to be able to see as I pick the name and all of that good jazz. And, but whenever we call your team name, right? I have everybody that said that they're willing to accept a Facebook Live call tonight. Again, it's just strictly audio, no video chat or anything like that. If you really, really want to, just shoot me a text or a message or something like that, or just let me know during your call and we'll swap over to video. Anyhow, with that being said, if you could do me a favor, during your call, please mute all background devices. This includes your TV, computer, phone, any music, etc. It's just going to make for, obviously, a smoother call here. Draft day, as we talked about on the league Facebook page, is going to be September 2nd. I took a screenshot of the poll there on August 5th, like we had talked about. So there will be a separate poll as to when, like what time we should hold the draft. So more to follow on that, but plan for Saturday, September 2nd, time to be determined for our draft. the final order of business here, obviously, one of the things that makes this league so special is the game of the week, right? Where we have a non-monetary bet between two competitors any given week. That schedule is coming out tomorrow. So keep an eye on the league Facebook page for the game of the week schedule. The prizes and everything are the exact same as last year. We didn't have a collective bargaining agreement to change any of that. So I'll repost that as well, just to kind of keep everybody in the loop. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into the festivities here. So our first team owner that we are going to be determining draft position for today is the first team owner to determine their draft position is the Dallas Troll Hunters. Team owner Jason LaRoche of the Dallas Troll Hunters, everybody's favorite villain. So that is awesome. I know he's very excited. I want to say that this is actually the first time that he has been the first team owner to have their draft position determined, right there at the top of the show. So let's not cause any further delay here. Let's see where the Dallas Troll Hunters are drafting this year. The Dallas Troll Hunters will be drafting number 9 overall this year. Number 9 is the Dallas Troll Hunters. Team owner Jason LaRoche of the Dallas Troll Hunters. That's an interesting spot to be drafting at, right? Because you're kind of right there towards the back of the draft, right? And so it should be an interesting, you kind of get a good second round pick there. So let's give team owner Jason LaRoche a call on Facebook, and let's see how he feels about his draft position. Ryan, I know you don't know Jason very well, but trust me when I say that he's an entertaining guy. So let's give him a call and see how he feels.
This is the Dallas Troll Hunters.
Jason LaRoche, team owner of the Dallas Troll Hunters. You are going to be drafting number 9 overall this year in the 2023, no pun intended, fantasy football draft. How do you feel about that, sir?
I feel kind of nervous, actually, and the reason being is, as you can see, you remember, I posted on the Facebook page, I said that if I picked at number 6, then there could be the final destination thing. Unfortunately, I forgot I was lying down. The 6 might have actually been a 9.
Right,
so,
yeah.
Take that as you will, but yeah, I think we could do some damage still at number 9. Yeah, we're at the later end of the position, but then second round comes up, snake draft, so we get right back in it. So
absolutely, absolutely. Well, you have always been a fierce competitor year in and year out in this league. Again, it feels like pretty much everybody has a rivalry with you, right? With that being said,
I try to support everybody. It's insane.
You're just always such a stand-up guy. So quick question for you. Because of the fact that the game of the week schedule has not been officially posted yet, we all know that everybody gets a minimum of 2 game of the weeks per season. And then obviously the last 2 weeks, it's by league-wide vote. Is there anybody, so 2 questions. Is there one person in particular that you really hope that you have a game of the week matchup with?
Really hope I got a game of the week matchup. I don't think me and Lamar have gone game of the week matchups, at least recently. I can't remember. I'd have to check schedule again, but yeah, I would like to probably take Lamar down. There would also be Nicholas Blase, just because he's a Redskins fan, so that'd be pretty great. But those would probably be my 2 biggest on the games of the weeks.
Okay. Second question.
Amazon Tree Frogs, but I kind of spoiled his debut last time with the milkshake, so
yeah,
I feel bad about that.
yeah. No, you have kind of the Battle of Dallas there between you and Stephen Pallas, team owner of the Dallas Greenskins. Second question here, along with
Amazon
that,
Tree Frogs.
Yeah, the Amazon Tree Frogs, as you so eloquently like to call them. Second question here. Is there, aside from yourself, is there a game of the week matchup not involving you that you would really like to see?
Not, but it's hard to tell really before the draft because I don't know what everybody's teams are.
But just from a pure person,
for
like
sure,
personality. Yeah.
Who would be the funnest? That's what I'm trying to think. I think it'd be pretty great to see Chicago and the Leather Daddies go at it.
So they had a bet last year, week 1 game of the week, where
Entertaining.
yeah, and Danny actually ended up losing the bet and had to wax his chest hair into the shape of the Batman logo live on the podcast.
Bastards.
So a rematch would definitely be interesting. I don't fault you there. Well, again, thank you so much for taking the call tonight, Mr. LaRoche. We were able to meet you before that 9 o'clock Central deadline, right? So top of the show, it's as if the fantasy gods were smiling upon you, sir. Any final thoughts or any messages for anybody in particular, or the league as a whole?
Not as yet. The list is still being worked on, so we'll see how it goes.
And what list, for those who are not aware, what list are you referring to?
The Dallas Troll Hunters list. I make a list every year of the people who say not so nice, not nice things about the Dallas. Kind of like in y'all's conversation where it's really funny to call it the Dallas least, even though it's the Dallas or the NFC least, even though it's the NFC beast now. And I think Nicholas Bosse would attest to that.
Yeah, we actually talked about that last night on the podcast. So, yeah. Well, hey, always a pleasure to have you around, sir.
One more thing,
What's
real
that?
quick. Make sure you give the tight ends their love. Like the white boys being scrappy, get it. But at the tight end position, they're monsters. You got killing everybody. But okay, that's it.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for taking the call, bud. Again, always a pleasure to have you in the league, and looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table this year.
All right, guys.
Take it easy, buddy. And that was Mr. Jason LaRoche, team owner of the Dallas Troll Hunters, drafting number 9 overall in the 2023, no punt intended, fantasy football season. All right, well, let's jump right into the next team owner here and figuring out who is going to be the next person we determine draft position for. I'll even look away. So, there's no funny business going on. The next person we will be determining draft position for is the Florida Swamp Donkeys. Team owner Kyle Curry of the Florida Swamp Donkeys, formerly known as Tebow's before Hose. Kind of an interesting shift here. I feel like we kind of have some people who have been underdogs in this league who are now getting those higher picks, or rather not necessarily higher picks, but at the top of the order for the draft Powerball lottery, figuring out where they're going to be drafting. So let's figure out where Kyle Curry is going to be drafting this year. Hang on, I got to reset that. One almost flew out, so I'm going to reset it here. Oh, God. All right, there we go. All right. Oh, wow. It's interesting. Kyle Curry was the second name to come up for the draft Powerball lottery. And this year he is going to be drafting number 2 overall is Kyle Curry, team owner of the Florida Swamp Donkeys. That's pretty crazy. I feel like at least in this league, that has to by far be his highest ever draft position. So very, very interesting. Kyle is one of those guys, for those of you that don't know, he's the type to throw caution to the wind. He has zero issues drafting the riskiest players possible. So let's give Kyle a call on Facebook and see how he feels about his draft position.
Dang, I was in the middle of watching the stream.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a delay there. But Kyle Curry, team owner of the Florida Swamp Donkeys, you are going to be drafting number 2 overall after getting your name selected second. I don't think that's ever happened before. I don't think there's ever been a time where someone's name came out of the power bucket and then they match that exact same draft position, as far as the order that their name was pulled out of the bucket is concerned. That aside, how do you feel about the number 2 overall draft pick, sir?
I think that just means that the stars have aligned, and I'm taking it home this year, going from last to first.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. You know what? We did have a condition of your punishment that hasn't technically been met yet. I know we had talked about having the whoever the midget hooker of the year is, having them wear, rock the T-shirt there. So if you'll just do us a favor, just as kind of a little bit of recompense, if you will, is if we could just have you post a picture of that T-shirt, I think that will suffice enough.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that tonight.
Okay. Excellent. Well, that aside, I'll ask you the same questions, right? So, with the Game of the Week schedule not having been posted yet, is there anybody that you hope that you get a Game of the Week matchup with, just because you really feel like you want to take something to someone, if that makes sense?
You and your wife, dude, because fuck FSU.
She's not in the league anymore, though.
She's not? I thought she joined.
No.
Oh.
Okay, so me.
So I thought she did. So then you, because fuck FSU, that's why. So you and, let's say, I want Money Team, because he seems to always be like right up there at the top every year. So I want him. Okay, interesting. So the St. Louis Lot Lizards and #Money Team. Interesting opponents. What about, is there any non-Florida Swamp Donkey, or rather, let me rephrase that. Is there any Game of the Week matchup not involving you that you'd be interested in watching? Just from, obviously we haven't drafted yet, so just from pure personality standpoints, where do you, what's one matchup you hope to see? I always like, I always like Jason LaRoche, his name is, the Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
And then whoever's one that always like bets against him. Like bets against the Cowboys. Like they always have bets going on.
Yeah, that's probably Nick.
Nick,
the Bellingham Bimblases. Yep. Good deal. Well, hey, congratulations, man. I think that this is, if I'm not mistaken, maybe you can correct me on this, but I'm pretty sure this is the highest draft position you've ever gotten in this league.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever been higher than like 5.
Yep. So,
I think one year I was like 6, but
yep.
I think this is the first time I'm in like the top 5 picks.
Well, congratulations once again. Any last messages, be it for anybody in particular or to the league as a whole?
I'm going from last to first this year.
The stars aligned. He got the second name out of the bucket, and he got the second pick in the draft. Mr. Kyle Curry, our current midget hooker of the year, getting some pretty good draft capital this year. Well, thanks again, man. Good luck to you, and congratulations once again.
All right, take it.
Later. All right. And that was Kyle Curry, team owner of the Florida Swamp Donkeys. You notice we're doing something a little bit different this year, right? So obviously we have the just audio calls this year, but I thought that little bit of, kind of still being able to see, put a name to the face and whatnot, that was a nice touch, in my opinion. I hope so anyway. Hopefully you guys feel the same. But no, that's pretty crazy. Kyle has, for the most part, been kind of a bottom dweller because he just takes so many risks, which I respect. His teams are more often than not, either they're going to absolutely explode or they're going to be complete trash. There's really not anywhere in between because, again, he's just very willing to take massive amounts of risk in hopes for a massive amount of upside. So congratulations again, Kyle. Let's figure out who the third person we're going to be figuring out draft position for is. All right. The third person we will be determining draft position for in the 2023, no pun intended, fantasy football draft is the Guido Torpedoes, owned by one Adam Siflinger, formerly known as the ATLians. This is pretty interesting. I feel like he's actually, over the past couple of years, had a pretty high draft pick. He ended up drafting Cooper Kupp pretty early on last year. He'll have to remind me where exactly that was, but Adam's an awesome guy. My wife and I just got done visiting him and his wife in Atlanta. So very excited for him, but even more excited to see where he's going to end up drafting this year. So let's figure that out right now. Oh, God. Okay. So I think one of the balls fell out. Yep. One of the balls fell out here. I don't know what ball that was, so sorry about that. But Adam Siflinger kept the top one there. Is going to be drafting at number 8 overall are the Guido Torpedoes. So 8 fist pumps for the Guido Torpedoes as they get the number 8 draft pick. So that's pretty awesome. Let's figure out how Adam feels about having the number 8 draft pick in the 2023, no pun intended, fantasy football season. See if I can find him in here. All right. Ka-chow. What's going on, buddy? Adam Siflinger, team owner of the Guido Torpedoes. You are going to be drafting number 8. Yeah, please. Do you have what are you watching on right now?
Nothing. I put it on mute, so you should be good.
Oh, got you. Okay. So Adam Siflinger, team owner of the Guido Torpedoes. You're going to be drafting number 8 this year in the 2023, no pun intended, fantasy football season. How do you feel about the number 8 spot?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel. Kind of like the number 1 draft pick. Got number 9. So I'm kind of feeling around like we're in the same boat. But at least in the second draft, as it snakes, should pick up something decent in the second round. Yeah, to your point, last year I did draft number 2. So I did pick up Cooper Kupp in the number 2 draft position last year.
Okay, so now you're kind of ceding that to Kyle Curry, who has the number 2 overall spot this year. But I mean, there's definitely worse places to be. Number 8, you're just outside of that top half of the draft, so there's definitely some value to be had there. I will pose the same question to you that I have everybody else. With the Game of the Week schedule not having been posted yet, what is one Game of the Week matchup that you hope, or who is one person that you hope you have a Game of the Week matchup with?
I hope that I have a Game of the Week matchup against.
Yes.
I'm trying to think.
You can name team names if you don't know the owners' names.
No, I know. Yeah, I know the team's names. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, maybe I would like to go up against the Florida Swamp Donkeys again, because I like to beat any team owners for Florida. It's just, I'm from Georgia. There's always a Georgia-Florida rivalry, and it feels good when we stomp all over Florida fans. So I'm gonna go with that.
I agree. As a Knowles fan, I can tell you it feels great whenever you stomp all over Florida fans. Florida Gators, Florida Swamp Donkeys, same thing. Same. What about what's one matchup that you're not involved in? What's one Game of the Week matchup you hope to see?
Yeah, I'm going to go out and completely in left field. I'd like to see maybe the Cleveland Steamers and maybe the Chicago Spirit Fingers. I want to see, if the Spirit Fingers and get some steamers on their fingers, or maybe, some fingers in the steamer's butthole. You just never know. I mean, we'll just have to see what's going to happen, So
I feel like that was kind of some vintage ATLian stuff right there, where you had talked about sticking your probe deep into them.
Yeah, we're still in the same boat. I mean, Guido's got to do what a Guido's got to do,
A Guido's got to do what a Guido's got to do. Well, hey, thanks for taking the call, man. Congratulations on the number 8 draft pick. Any last messages for anybody in particular or just the league as a whole?
No, I'm just ready to rock it. Ready to get the show on the road. I'm ready for football to come back.
Yes, sir. I think we all are. I think we all definitely are. All right, man. Well, hey, it was good talking to you again. Looking forward to hopefully visiting you guys again here in the near future, or having you guys come down to see us.
All right, buddy. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thank you.
Take it easy, pal.
All right.
Bye. And once again, that was Adam Siflinger, team owner of, I almost said the ATLians, his former team name, but the Guido Torpedoes, ready to fist bump their way into victory. All right, well, let's jump right back into it, and then let's figure out, excuse me, who is going to be the next person. All right. The next person we will be determining draft position for is hashtag Money Team, two-time champion of the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League. I feel like this is another target that's pretty popular for everybody, just because he has been excellent. As much trash as I like to talk to Lamar, he has been an excellent fantasy football player and a consummate professional at that. So, with that being said, now Lamar unfortunately is not going to be available for a call tonight, but we'll still show his logo and everything, just so that everybody can be reminded of his logo and whatnot. But first, let's figure out where Lamar Peoples, team owner of hashtag Money Team, is going to be drafting this year. Come on, little buddy. Come on. Wow. There we go. Oh, God. Ah, crap. That was not supposed to happen. That was not supposed to happen. It took a while for his to come up. It took a minute for his to come up. But nevertheless, we do have his draft pick here. Lamar is going to be drafting number 5 overall in the 2023 No Punt Intended Fantasy Football Draft, right in the middle of the pecking order, which I'm not sure if Lamar has ever drafted from that position before. But nevertheless, it should be very interesting. I feel like it really doesn't matter what draft position Lamar gets. He's going to be pretty dominant regardless. So for those of you that are not aware, that is hashtag Money Team's logo and some footage of him losing a bet to me. He bet on the Dallas Cowboys and Tamika Elliott, hence his, having to rock the crop top there and having to drink some Steel Reserve. So should be very, very interesting to see how he feels. We'll get a reaction from him later on. But for now, let us actually, while I'm still thinking about it, because I don't want to forget where he's drafting from, let me update his draft position as we speak here, so that way we don't lose it. All right. That's perfect. Okay, and we are in business. Okay. So that is Lamar Peoples drafting number 5 overall. Let's go ahead and get a recap of where we're at so far with the draft positions. So drafting at number 2 overall, we have the Florida Swamp Donkeys team owner Kyle Curry with by far his highest draft position yet. And drafting at number 5, just as we talked about, is hashtag Money Team team owner Lamar Peoples. Drafting number 8, we have Adam Siflinger, team owner of the Guido Torpedoes. And drafting number 9 is Dallas Troll Hunters team owner Jason LaRoche. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it and keep on chugging. And you know what? So I've got it right here. But before I do that, let me take a look at the comments section here. So Adam Keith said drafted. Okay. Yep. Adam said that he drafted number 2 overall last year. I did change Adam's graphic there a little bit. I'm glad that you noticed that. Thought that it was a bit of an improvement. It was kind of the one I had before was a little bit cheesy, but the greatest fantasy football league of all time. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it. Anyhow, the next person we are going to be determining draft position for is, oh man, yours truly, Rick Horn, team owner of the St. Louis Lot Lizards, the original champion of this league, dating all the way back to 2018. I like this guy a lot. Rick, he's a solid guy. Big fan of his. I can't wait to ask him how he feels about his draft position, who he wants to have a game of the week matchup with, one matchup that he'd love to see. Just an awesome guy and damn good looking. And boy, that voice, I'll tell you what, it is amazing. It is exquisite. It is everything you could possibly want. But let's figure out where the St. Louis Lot Lizards are drafting this year. The St. Louis Lot Lizards will be drafting at number 10 this year. So towards the back of the order, number 10 is me, the St. Louis Lot Lizards team owner, Rick Horn. I feel pretty okay about that. Kind of my thing is that I'd really hope to get either a super early pick or a super late pick. I would have rather had the 11 or the 12 if I was going to go that late, but not bad at all because I know regardless I'm going to get a pretty solid second round pick. So, really not sweating that too much whatsoever. As far as who I would like to have a game of the week matchup with, that's tough. I will tell you, I'm going to, spoiler alert, as the person who writes the game of the week schedule, I guess my person is going to be Lamar Peoples, team owner of #MoneyTeam. So that's one of the people that I will have a game of the week matchup with. People I would like to see a game of the week matchup between. This one is tough. I would have to say, because I feel like I know all around like everybody's personalities pretty well. I guess I would have to say just, kind of far left field would probably have to be Ryan Kapranica, new team owner of the Cleveland Steamers, and Jason LaRoche, team owner of the Dallas Troll Hunters. So those are my two picks. But those are going to be my two picks there. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust the draft order here, putting my draft position in. And then we will chug right along. Perfect. Okay. All right. Without any further ado, let's jump right into the next team owner. So the next person, we are... Ryan Kapranica says, the Lot Lizards like it in the back. Yeah, well, you know what? We have a special going on at the Circle K. Be sure to check that out. Go ahead. You have free windshield wipers and a suck job there right at the pay station. So, all right. The next person we are going to be determining draft position for, ironically enough, is the newcomer to the league, Ryan Kapranica, team owner of the Cleveland Steamers. He originally said that he wasn't going to be available for a call, but I'm going to keep it here for just a second. And because I see that he's pretty active in the comment section. So Ryan, if you are available for a call, we would definitely love to get your take. Obviously, introduce you to everybody in the league a little bit more formally, kind of be able to hear your voice and hear your thoughts on your short time in the league so far. And all of that good jazz. I will say Ryan is an awesome guy. Unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to meet him in person yet. I, again, met him through Blake. Blake I met through the St. Louis Lot Lizards. Oh, that is not Ryan Kapranica. I apologize. All right. That's actually Tom Schroeder. Oh, the cape is a lie. I thought it said the cap, like Capronica. So my fault. I thought that was Ryan Capronica there in the comments section. But no, awesome guy. If you've ever watched the BAM Sports Show, you'll know that he is very data driven and just a funny guy. I've really thoroughly enjoyed having him in the league so far. So let's figure out where the newly minted Cleveland Steamers are going to be drafting this year. All aboard! All right. The Cleveland Steamers are going to be drafting number 7 overall this year in the 2023 no punt intended fantasy football draft. Interesting draft position. I can't really speak to how Ryan is as a fantasy player. Unfortunately, I have never had the pleasure of facing him on the virtual gridiron. But I've gotten, a little bit of a feel for how he is, I guess, just by way of talking fantasy with him on the BAM Sports Show. Nevertheless, awesome guy. Just a ton of fun to have around. And I think that you are all really, really going to enjoy him. From what I understand, he has some pretty notable fantasy accolades. I apologize that I don't have that this year, kind of like I do everybody else's. But nevertheless, very, very excited to have Ryan Capronica, team owner of the Cleveland Steamers, coming in at number 7 in the 2023 no punt intended fantasy football draft. So let's just roll right along. Hopefully Tom Schroeder is paying attention here, because I have a feeling his is coming up sometime here pretty soon. All right. Let's grab this one. I got to get a new mic stand. This one's going out on me. But nevertheless, the next person we will be determining draft position for is going to be the other Dallas team, the Dallas Greenskins team owner, Stephen Powless of the Dallas Greenskins. Yay! We're going to be determining your draft position. Yay! Stephen is an awesome guy. I feel like he had one hell of a league debut last year, his first year in the league. Obviously kind of has an interstate rivalry going on with one Jason LaRoche of the Dallas Troll Hunters. A very, very good buddy of mine back home, both him and Kyle, guys that I knew at, kind of different parts of my life growing up. So very excited to have him in his sophomore year here in the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League. Let's see where Steven's going to be drafting this year. It's eventually going to spit one out. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've got the shop vac kind of wrapped around the desk here, so I don't know if it's just not getting quite as much power. But I'll tell you who does have a lot of power this year, at least early in the draft, perhaps the most power in the draft as it stands right now. The Dallas Troll Hunters will be drafting number 1 overall this year in the 2023 no punt intended fantasy football draft. That is actually kind of terrifying, because I have played with Steven outside of this league multiple times in his league, in a separate league. And I can tell you he is a very, very worthy fantasy football opponent. So, pretty scary having him at the top of the draft. I'm not going to lie. That's a hell of a person to have there at number 1 overall. So unfortunately he was not available for comment tonight either. He had some stuff going on that would not allow him to be free, but he did promise me that he will post a reaction, to his draft position later on. So we will definitely be hearing from Stephen Powless later, or rather in the very, very near future. So I am just updating the draft board right now to lock Steven in at the number 1 overall draft position. But yeah, that's insane. All right, let's do another recap. Let's see where we're at right now. So drafting number 1 overall, the Dallas Greenskins team owner, Stephen Powis, like we had just talked about. Number 2, Kyle Curry with the Florida Swamp Donkeys. Number 5, team owner Lamar Peoples of #MoneyTeam. Number 7, we've got our newcomer, Ryan Kapranica and the Cleveland Steamers. And right after getting Cleveland steamered, you got a bunch of guys doing fist pumps, some gabagools. And actually what's pretty funny about that, on the BAM Sports Show, Ryan and I always joke about gabagool. So having him go right before the Guido Torpedoes is hilarious. They're at number 8. Number 9, we have everybody's favorite villain, Jason LaRoche, team owner of the Dallas Troll Hunters. And number 10, yours truly, the St. Louis Lot Lizards. So a lot of interesting spots still left on the board that are up for grabs, and just a few more spots left to have to pick from, or a few more people to determine draft position for. So let's not have any further delay, and let's figure out who we're determining draft position for next. Right. The next person we will be determining draft position for is the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys, team owner Miles Hart of the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys. It should be most excellent, most epic. That was my really, really piss poor Thor impression. Miles also, unfortunately, is not available for comment tonight. He has some stuff going on with family. Had we had the show last week, he would have been available for comment, but such is not the case here. So let's figure out where Miles Hart is going to be drafting this year. All right. Well, we've got it. Miles Hart is going to be drafting at number 6 overall this year in the 2023, no pun intended, fantasy football draft of the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys. If they can get off of their fat asses and do something this year. So it should be pretty crazy. Miles, as far as a fantasy football player, I will tell you, he is a cerebral assassin. Last year, I would say, was a very uncharacteristic down year for Miles Hart. I've played with him. Both myself, Danny, and Tom have played with him in separate leagues and can attest to the fact that Miles Hart is a very, very worthy fantasy football player. So it's going to be interesting to see where he's going to be drafting. But, we'll just have to, or excuse me, not where he's going to be drafting, but to see how he feels about getting the number 6 overall pick. We will definitely want to gauge his interest at a later time. But for now, we'll just have to leave it there. Mr. Miles Hart drafting at number 6 overall in the 2023, no pun intended, fantasy football season. All right. We've got 4 more draft spots on the board, as you can see right there. And they're pretty much opposite of each other. We've got the number 3, the number 4, the number 11, and the number 12, with some pretty crazy competition for those spots. So let's figure out who that next person is. All right, the next person we're determining draft position for is, drum roll please, Mr. Tom Schroeder, team owner of Carol's Exotic Biters, and that bitch Carol Baskins and her murdering and lying ways. That bitch, I can't stand her, Carol Baskin. But you know what? Tom Schroeder's an awesome guy. He is available for comment tonight. So looking very, very forward to hear what he has to say about his draft position. But first, let's determine where that draft position is. There we go. We got it. Oh, I think Tom's going to be happy about this one. I think Tom is going to be very happy about this one. Tom Schroeder is going to be drafting number 3 overall in the 2023, no pun intended, fantasy football season. That is awesome. Tom Schroeder, team owner of Carroll's Exotic Biters. I think he is going to be stoked. I cannot wait to get his reaction. And I'm glad that I know for a fact that I'm not going to be calling some random person this time like we did a couple of years ago. And the guy was like, yeah, it feels pretty great. Like whenever I was actually using Skype to make like legit phone calls with people. So let's see how Tom feels about his draft position. And then I forgot to show you everybody else's logos. We'll go back and do that.
Hello?
Tom Schroeder, team owner of Carroll's Exotic Biters. You are going to be drafting number 3 overall in the 2023, no pun intended, fantasy football season. How do you feel about the number 3 spot?
I'm pretty happy about it. I was hoping that I'd get somewhere towards the front or towards the back, and number 3 is perfect.
Yep. So you're pretty much lockstep with me in that mindset, either having a super early pick or a super late pick. So that's pretty awesome, man. It's been a pleasure having you in the league. Definitely tough competition for sure. I'll ask you the same questions that I've been asking everybody else. Who is one person you hope to have a game of the week matchup with this year?
I don't know if I've had you or Danny yet.
Yeah, you hoping for a matchup with either me or Danny?
Yeah.
Okay. I could definitely see something like that. I feel like every bet that you and I are part of is always fun. You know, so long as you do not, the only thing I ask is that you do not hand Hannah your phone whenever we have that matchup. Because I swear, by the way, hi Hannah, hope you're doing well. Miss y'all. I swear to this day, it doesn't matter. Like we could have, you know, either like 2 of the stronger teams in the league or both of our rosters could be injured and we're using like 12th string players. For whatever reason, we always end up getting into an absolute slugfest with one another. So I still have nightmares about Hannah sometimes as far as fantasy football is concerned.
The same goes with me and Bethany. So, on my end, I'm slaughtered every time. So,
yeah, for sure. She retired on top, man. She retired on top. Okay, well, aside from yourself, not involving you, who is one game of the week matchup that you hope to see?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think maybe Spirit Fingers and Money Team.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. The current champ and the champ from the year prior. Yeah. And they're both very vocal personalities. I think that would be a very worthy game of the week matchup for sure. Okay. Well, hey man, thanks a lot for taking the call and everything. Last question I'll ask you here is, do you have any message for either the league as a whole or any particular person that you want to put out before we let you go tonight?
I'll just say that I was asked to step it up last year. I did, and I'm here to play. So.
All right. Well, strong words from an equally strong man with an even better or even more strong beard, which as you can see there, the graphic on the screen, Tom has an epic beard that I'm very jealous of. Unfortunately, Uncle Sam won't let me have that. So, well, thanks a lot, man. We appreciate your time and everything. And, number 3 overall, Tom Schroeder of the Carroll's Exotic Biters.
Thanks.
Take it easy, buddy. All right, that was Tom Schroeder, team owner of Carroll's Exotic Biters, drafting number 3 overall in the no pun intended fantasy football league in 2023. All right, well, we're down to 3 picks. This is crazy. We have only 3 picks left and only 1 in the top 4. So I'm looking at the wrong camera. Only 1 pick left in the top 4. It should be interesting. By the way, how do y'all like my throwback Seahawks jersey? I just got this a couple weeks ago. It's or maybe last week. I can't remember. But very, very recently. It should be a lot of fun. But without any further ado, we have 3 picks left. And let's narrow it down to 2 now. All right. The next person we will be determining draft position for is the classiest hose in all of fantasy football, the former champion of the 2020 season to what is known as the Bimbarella season. That crazy, insane run that the Bellingham Bimblases had. Are we going to see that magic once again? Are they going to cake on that patented Walgreens makeup and show up to the nightclubs and do their thing? Bellingham Bimblases team owner, Nicholas Blase. That is awesome. It should be very interesting to see where he's going to be drafting. Unfortunately, he's not available for comment tonight either. He is stationed elsewhere right now, is all I'm going to say. So the time difference for him is pretty significant. But one thing I did want to do here is I forgot to show you everybody's logos that we had already talked about. So there is Mr. Nicholas Blase in the event that he was able to talk tonight. That would have been an interesting one. And then here we have the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys. There you see we have clips of both of their punishments from last year. And we've got team owner Stephen Palace of the Dallas Greenskins, him having to do the milkshake. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and then pouring an actual milkshake on himself. So that should be pretty interesting there. And then our newcomer, Ryan Capranica of the Cleveland Steamers. I meant to show that to you guys earlier, so I apologize about that. But nevertheless, Nicholas Blase, team owner of the Bellingham Bimblases. Let's figure out where those hoes are going to be drafting this year. That was quick. That was very, very quick. Nicholas Blase, team owner of the Bellingham Bimblases, are going to be drafting number 4 overall this year. 4 for the Whores at the 4 floors of Whores. Some of you Navy guys will know what I'm talking about. For the Bellingham Bimblases, former champion of the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League. That is pretty incredible. I just want to get another look here at this punishment for the Bimblases last year. I feel like, he had kind of kept it a secret from us. They had agreed, both him and Jason LaRoche had agreed not to disclose the terms of their game of the week bet. But I definitely thought that this was one of the better punishments last year. So, again, very excited. Nicholas Blase, number 4 pick. That's pretty scary. I know last year he had the number 1 overall pick, ended up getting Jonathan Taylor, who didn't quite shake out. But you know what? Fantasy's just like that sometimes. It just is. So, all right. Well, with that being said, we only have 2 draft positions remaining, and they are both the last 2 picks of the draft, the number 11 and the number 12. So let's figure out, really with this next one, we'll know exactly who the next 2 are with this next pick. So let's go ahead and figure out who's going to be that first person to break the ice there for us. And actually, let's look at the comment section before we do that. Jason LaRoche says, boo! Jason LaRoche says, boo, of Nicholas Blase getting the number 4 overall pick. I'm assuming he likes that, or he's probably jealous he didn't get the number 4 pick. But that's a pretty strong rivalry there. All right. The next person that we're going to be determining draft position for, the Constipated Leather Daddies. Team owner Danny Gilmore of the Constipated Leather Daddies. That is incredible. It should be interesting. And I feel like he's usually a fan of having those later round draft picks as well. So he's probably sitting, pretty happy with this right now. But don't let me speak for the man. Let me give Danny a call and let him answer for himself.
Oh, buddy.
Danny Gilmore, team owner of the Constipated Leather Daddies. We still haven't determined your draft position yet, have we?
Oh, yeah, we can do that. I mean,
Shoot, let's just do it live on air. Or while I've got you on the call here.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, because really with your pick, we're going to be, we'll know who the other person is as well.
Yeah, I totally forgot Blake hasn't gone yet. I thought it was the last
Yep.
one.
So really with this, we'll figure out both you and Blake's pick. But I'll go ahead and pull the screen up here, or pull the video up here. So you can determine.
Get your credentials on it. Come on, man.
I don't know why it's not working as well as it did last year.
That's because you only got 2.
True.
You only got 2 balls in there. That's right, buddy.
Come on. Oh, almost. Oh. We got it.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
We got
There's
it.
a delay on the video. Oh, there it is.
All right. Before I reveal what your draft pick is, we have the number 11 and the number 12 spot.
Yes.
Which one do you think it is?
I think it's going to be 11.
Okay. Which one do you hope it is?
I think 11. I think I hope it's 11. Yeah. Yeah, there's some guys I'm looking at here. I'm looking at my draft board right now. There's one guy who's kind of around number 10. I'd kind of like, hopefully will drop down to me. Yeah, we'll see if that happens. Either way, I'll work some things around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sorry to disappoint you, sir, but you are going to be drafting at number 12 overall are the Constipated Leather Daddies.
Number 12.
So you get 2 picks back to back every round. How you feeling about number 12?
I'll take it. This is like one of the first years that doing mock drafts where I saw like the higher picks. It didn't look like there was such a big drop off at the 5th round.
Right.
And that's what I was concerned about with getting such a high pick, because you get that big guy, but by the time you get to round 5, you're barely getting starters. You know, you're drafting a running back doesn't even get like all the game time. You know, and it wasn't quite the case this time. I feel like 12 will just guarantee that I won't have that issue. There's some guys in the first round that just in the mock drafts I'm a little nervous about going in the first round. But I don't know. I feel like taking a 13 or the first round or a first pick in the second round is really nice. And I think I'll get a pretty nice 5th round pick too. So I think all in all, I'll be in good shape.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll ask you the same question that I've asked everybody else so far. With the Game of the Week schedule not having been released yet, which will come out tomorrow, what is one person that you hope to have a Game of the Week matchup with?
It's hard to pick one. You know, I had a whole
give us a few.
Think about it. I feel like me and Blake.
Okay.
Pretty good. We had our first Game of the Week last year and had the video I'm watching now getting waxed, and then first and second place last year too. So I think that adds a lot to the weight. A little bit of maybe a rivalry kind of starting up there a bit. Always like Tom. We've been around as like 11 or 12 years now. I think I've competed with him longer than anyone else in football. Rick, I don't know if we've had one yet. I think that'd be good on the show. So yeah, those would be like my 3.
Okay.
Pick out of those.
Yeah, I can lend credence to that. I mean, you had the league, both the week 1 Game of the Week, which saw you waxing your chest hair into the shape of a Batman logo. And for those who are not aware, and I'll try and share a link to the we have the punishment on the league Facebook page. I have a shortened version of that video. But for those that aren't aware, Danny had some wax strips that, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the directions actually say to only leave it on there for like 45 seconds or so?
No, like 3 seconds.
Oh, yeah, like 3 seconds. And he left them on there for like an hour and some change before he finally ripped these damn things off.
Yeah, none of us knew that that's what you're supposed to do. Like, yeah, you just put it on there, it'll be fine. Like, didn't realize like the glue was gonna get like seeped into like my sweat pores.
Yeah, literally. I mean, and when I say ripped off, I don't mean like peeled off. I mean, there were times like if you go back to that video where he's yanking it and it's not coming up at all. So definitely by far the ballsiest bet that we've ever had in Game of the Week history. So definitely, and yeah, no, I would be glad to honor a Game of the Week with you because I agree. I don't think we've had one yet, and I think we could definitely come up with something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
All right, well, any Game of the Weeks that you're not involved in that you would like to see?
I think anyone on the show would be a lot of fun. I think maybe Blake and Ryan would be pretty cool, or you and any of those two would be sweet.
Yeah.
Just going back to one of my Game of the Week things, we talked about this a little, like, about a couple months ago. I have that, it's called, like, Toe of Satan lollipop. It's supposed to be, like, 6 million Scoville.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if we can get that involved in a bet at some point, so see if there's any takers who want to step up to the plate on that one.
We did have Nick last year. Nicholas Blase of the Bellingham Bin Blases did do the one chip challenge. And
that was rough.
Oh, it was. And I watched him like rub his eyes with his bare. He handled the chip with his bare hands and then rubbed his eyes with it. That was rough to watch. It was rough to watch.
Yeah,
but no,
he wiped his ass with the wrapper afterwards. He was crazy, man.
All right. Well, hey, congratulations on getting the number 12 pick. Any last minute messages for either anybody in particular or the league as a whole before we let you go tonight?
No, I just, everyone on the schedule comes to me each week. Just come over to the Total Fallacy More Shop and we'll get your ass fitted for a butt plug and we'll deliver to you after the week.
Oh, nice. Are there any, is there any new line of products that we should be looking forward to?
Yeah, we'll find out in week 1.
Fair enough. Well, hey, congrats again, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, sir. Love the show.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Danny Gilmore, team owner of the Constipated Leather Daddies, drafting number 12 overall this year in the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football Draft. Obviously, we already know with him having the number 12 pick, the only 2 picks remaining were Blake Matton and Danny Gilmore, which you can see here. Our final one is the Chicago Spirit Fingers, right? The bucket is completely empty. And we know that he's got the number 11 pick. I'll call Blake and see how he feels about the number 11 pick. If he wants to see me roll the machine there, then so be it. But I'm going to give Blake a call here real quick. So he said he might be available and to just go ahead and try him anyway. So let's give him a call and see how Blake feels about the number 11 pick this year. He may be busy. He said that he had some stuff going on, that he might be able to take the call. So he may or may not answer. But nevertheless, we gave it a try. Blake, if you're listening, buddy, answer your Facebook. Oh.
Yo.
Blake Matton, defending champion of the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League and team owner of the Chicago Spirit Fingers. You are going to be drafting number 11 overall this year with the final reveal of the Powerball lottery here. How are you feeling about number 11?
A little low, but, champs do what champs do, baby. We win.
That's right. Champs do what champs do. Well, definitely a strong season from you last year. There were definitely some bold draft picks. You taking Kelsey pretty early on, and I think you took the first quarterback off the board, if I'm not mistaken, with Patrick Mahomes, and kind of got that sleeper that nobody was expecting in Josh Jacobs, and just had an absolutely dominant season last year after a pretty rough league debut the year prior. So So yeah, with that being said, I'll ask you what I've asked everybody so far. Who do the Spirit Fingers want to have a Game of the Week matchup? Like, what's one or two people that you hope you have the Game of the Week matchup with this year?
Well, as always, anyone that's on the BAM Sports Show with me, so I'd always appreciate one against, Leather Dandy there and our boy, the good old commissioner of this league, Mr. Rick Horn himself.
Hey, don't forget about Ryan Capronica, the Cleveland Steam Owners.
We got 3 of us in the league now.
Yeah.
So give me any of those 3 and I'm a happy man.
All right. Well, good deal. Was there any matchup that you're not involved in, a Game of the Week matchup that you'd be interested in seeing?
Ryan versus Danny, because I think that will end up being something irrational, out of control, and done live on the show.
I feel like you could say, well, yeah, done live on the show, but the irrational and just outlandish, I feel like you could say that about pretty much any bet that Danny's involved in.
That's fair. That's very fair as well.
Yep. Well, good deal, man. So yeah, any last minute thoughts for the league or any particular person or anything else like that you want to share before we let you go tonight?
Just looking to repeat, baby. Champs do what champs do. Like I said, we win. So we're going to repeat. We're going to keep that trophy home. Actually, I got rid of the box the other day, so I don't have to even plan on shipping it. That trophy's staying home, and we're excited.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, sir. Always a pleasure. I will personally come pick that trophy up from you after I win.
You said it, but we'll see.
All right. That is Blake Matton, defending champion of the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League. Chicago Spirit Fingers team owner, drafting number 11 overall. Appreciate you taking the time, buddy.
Yep. Later, buddy.
Bye. All right. Well, that just about does it, folks. We have our draft positions picked out. We will do one final recap before we call it a night. Drafting number 1 overall is the Dallas Greenskins. Yay! And team owner Stephen Pallas. Drafting number 2 is Kyle Curry and the Florida Swamp Donkeys. Number 3, we have Tom Schroeder and Carroll's Exotic Biters. Number 4 is the classiest hose in all of fantasy football. Number 4 are the Whores, the Bellingham Bimblases. Number 5 is the 2-time champion #Money Team. Number 6 is the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys team owner Miles Hart. Number 7, our newcomer Ryan Capronica of the Cleveland Steamers. Number 8, Adam Siflinger with the Guido Torpedoes. Again, kind of funny. Gabagool, kind of going back to back there. Number 9, the other Dallas team, Jason LaRoche and the Dallas Troll Hunters. Number 10, we have yours truly, the commissioner of the league, the St. Louis Lot Lizards. Number 11, we have the Chicago Spirit Fingers defending champion Blake Matton. And number 12, the Constipated Leather Daddies and runner-up last year. That's kind of crazy how we have the champ and the runner-up going right back to back. But anyhow, the Constipated Leather Daddies going number 12 overall this year in the 2023 No Punt Intended Fantasy Football Draft. I appreciate everyone's time. Looking forward to doing this again next year. Hopefully, this is actually possibly going to be my last time on the air of any type, whether it be here or the BAM Sports Show for several weeks, depending on some news that I get on Monday. If I don't get that news, then I'll be right back on the BAM Sports Show for sure on Friday. Be sure to check us out. We are live every Friday at 9:15 Central Time. So I believe that is 7:15 p.m. Pacific Time. And of course, 10:15 here on the East Coast. So looking forward to seeing you all there. Appreciate everyone stopping by and good luck this year.